Alright, once again, another cover card being revealed pretty early, which hopefully means something special later on, with the new form of Verina or Trickstar. And speaking of Trickstar, Trickstar gets a new form as well, kinda, with no new ride line for Nirvana unfortunately, so let's begin. So first off, we start off with Blaze Maiden or Torle, which is a grade 1 with key power and the skillless. Count Rearguard Guardian, if you have at least a grade 3 Vanguard Nirvana, all your grade 0 talismans get shield plus 5k, aka Trickstar. If it doesn't have the grade restriction and it could have been any talisman, aka the Verina units, this could have been a little better, but unfortunately no. In which we go to a decent double rare, Blaze Maiden and Sure, which is a grade 1 with power and the skillless. Auto, when placed on rearguard, cost range plus 3, choose a Verina from your drop zone and put it to your hand. With the second skill, Act Rearguard, if you have at least a grade 3 Vanguard Nirvana, cost retire this unit, choose a prayer dragon from drop zone and call it to rearguard. Now this card is pretty nice that you can recycle your Verinas while also recycling your prayer dragons. The only thing is, we literally have a prayer dragon that can act as a discard fodder as well, that can recycle your Verinas for Energy Blast 3, and it's also a prayer dragon while also having the ability to give counter charge. So I don't really exactly see this card being played for cross overdress, especially out of space as it is, but for the regular overdress deck is a maybe, even though you got Cindy. And now to the new Trickstar along with the prayer dragon. Trickstar and Suendi, and this is what I mean of kind of, because this is basically Trickstar along with the new Prayer Dragon. Basically 2 units in 1 card, which was something I was not expecting. And also keep in mind this is both a talisman and Prayer Dragon. But anyway, it's a grade 0 with 5 key power, and the skill is Count Rearguard, Deck, and Drop. This card is also treated as Trickstar. Just in case you're wondering, yes, you can still run Trickstar along with this, as this does not count as original name Trickstar, similar to basically the dress up mechanic. With the second skill of Count Rearguard, when you would perform cross overdress, this card can be treated as 2 units being a Trickstar along with a Prayer Dragon. This is just very nice because now you're using 1 less card for a cross overdress, and in technicality it basically turns your cross overdress into just basically performing a regular overdress. And just with this new skill alone is already pretty good. But then they had to add more, like the next one where auto, when your unit is being attacked and this card is in original dress, you may put this to the Guardian Circle, and if you do, shield plus 5k to the end of the battle. Basically, since this is technically 2 units, it is basically 2 units guarding 1 attack, but what I really love is that you can use your original dress to guard the attack. And finally, to the last skill, Count, when your outer dress unit, aka the Verina unit in overdress state, would be put back into the deck or bind zone, put all the original dress into the drop. If you guys don't remember, the ruling is that wherever the overdressed unit is put to, all the cards under it will follow with it. So basically, if it gets bound, all the cards on bottom of it will also get bound as well. So basically, you just end up not losing all the stuff along with it, you just lose that 1 card itself, and thus saving you some resources and let you reuse those resources back from the drop zone. So overall, this is already pretty insane that it can count as 2 units for a cross overdress, and can even guard as a dress, and it also protects the dress stuff as well. And thanks to this might be worth testing just to try out Chat and Prayer in the regular overdress deck. And finally, to the new Verina. Judgment Blades equip Ars Vairina, which is a grade 3 with 13 power, and it cross overdresses with 1 Trickstar and at least 1 Prayer Dragon with a different name. This will make sense for one of its skills, but basically you could stack multiple Prayer Dragons into this 1 card. But anyway, to the first skill not shown in the anime, when this card is discarded from hand during your turn, you can put this to soul and insert your deck for 1 talisman and discard it and of course shuffle your deck, basically becoming discard fodder. Yay! But not only that, it helps out with soul and in a way searches that can also recycle from drop zone anyway. In which the second skill is auto, when placed on rearguard by cross overdressing, put all cards from your drop zone as this unit's original dress. And also, all cards put as original dress by this skill cannot activate their auto abilities into the end turn. This is because since you're stacking the whole entire drop zone, Prayer Dragon effects can actually activate if it doesn't have this restriction. And the majority of them are auto skills when you put them as original dress, but there are a few that are basically continuous skills, so do keep that one in mind. But anyway, to the last skill where everything's kind of built up to, auto rearguard. When this unit in cross overdress state attacks, this card gets 1k power for each original dress you have. Then if it was stood by card ability this turn, you can have this card get a crit +1, and if you do that, into the end turn, retire this unit. Keep in mind the second skill of putting your drop zone into this card's original dress will leave you with no cards in the drop zone, and thus giving you no resources in the drop zone. but due to this just basically retiring it itself back again, you're basically refilling up your drop zone for your next turn, and once again, it's just another Verina being a big beater, this time with an extra crit. In a way, this card does remind me of Expecta and Esperidia because of using your whole drop zone, and then Expecta of gaining all the power from your original dress along with the extra crit, and then losing those resources after. Overall, this is actually pretty decent since it is normally just a big beater that acts with huge pressure, but thanks to its first skill acting as a discard fodder, it makes this even better because it's also giving you more resources that also lets you search practically. And the best part about this Verina, it has no costs, which is probably the best part because no resources needed practically, other than meeting its condition. And finally, here are the secret rares, which look very gorgeous, but I'm not gonna get them because they're expensive. And then next week, we're just getting more small support for anime themed decks, mainly caring for the one that is Yukeberg. And so that's it for these new reveals of the new Verina along with the new Trickstar. What do you guys think of it? Overall, it is just pretty nice. It actually might make this deck very powerful, even though we got no new ride line, considering the main cards is always the rearguard support with Verina. Yes, I am a bit disappointed that we did not get a new form of Nirvana, basically, more so Jiva. But considering that Nirvana usually acts as a resource engine for your Verina, I think it's completely fine that we don't get a new ride line. And speaking of Verina, along with the Trickstar, it's just really awesome, especially with the Trickstar counting as 2 units, acting like basically old overdressing. In which when it overdresses with the new Prayer Dragon, which is along with the card, we got the new form of Verina that is very similar to both Esperita and Expecta, using your drop zone for the resources and power and crit from Expecta. But it's even crazier that there was extra skills that were not even shown in the anime that just makes them extra good. So overall, I like it. And now, just one big question before I go is that considering the cover card is shown this early, usually when a cover card is shown early, we get something special at the end. Do you guys think that we're going to get something big and special near the end of the set? I was thinking a new form of Razile, since Cater is the only one without anything big revealed yet. Who knows, but I am really hoping so. But anyway, that's it for this, and see you next time.